Right, so do you want to just tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you collect, what you're what you're into, what's your thing?
Yeah. Okay. So my IG username is Poketin King,
I'll drop it down
formerly
there.
Nerd Nation, and basically started collecting as most people did, probably about around 6 years old, I think. And I sort of pretty much didn't stop ever collecting.
That was
I know a
with
lot of
was that
people.
with base set? Sorry.
That was, I think it was late gym sets
Oh, all right.
started getting moved into Neo. I was a bit young for base set originally,
Yeah,
so I saw the cards around, but I never opened any
yeah,
packs
yeah,
myself.
yeah. Oh, nice.
Um, so Neo sets were really the sets that I sort
Yeah.
of really interested me. The shining cards, the light and dark cards are quite cool.
Did everyone like? Obviously, you would have been at school at that point. Did everyone have Neo, or was it like half of the school? Because like when I was
Um,
in base set, it was everywhere. Everyone had it.
yeah, everyone had like base jungle fossil,
Oh, okay. They still had
like
those
gym
cards.
stuff.
They still had
Yeah,
them.
everyone still
Oh,
had them. It was when Neo had just come out, and
yeah,
I mean, obviously Pokemon was still massively popular.
yeah,
But I was a bit young for those first early sets, so
yeah,
I saw the cards, and I had some of the cards because I traded for them, um, but I never owned like quite a few of them. Like I never opened any packs like a lot of people did.
yeah. You just
Um,
saw other people that had them in their piles, in their decks and stuff.
yeah, yeah, and obviously everybody would always show off their Charizard, which even then, was a big deal.
Still happening 20 years later.
Exactly. That was the chase
Yeah, it
card, pretty
was.
much
Yeah,
for the whole of the Wizard of the Coast era. And then I think I really remember vividly a lot about the E series, like
yeah.
Expedition, Skyridge, Acropolis. Um, that's when I started really getting into sort of playing. So I played quite a bit
The TCG
for a couple of years.
itself.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I played for about 3 years, and where at my locals there was like
Oh, nice.
competitions and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and then I moved to Gibraltar, and
All right.
Pokemon really wasn't that popular. It was mostly actually Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, well,
Most people
over
were
there it
collecting
was.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
It wasn't a big
Yeah,
deal.
people were collecting Yu-Gi-Oh a lot,
Yeah.
but I was still collecting Pokemon. I think this was during like Sandstorm, EX Dragon, like the early EX era.
So you were still in
Um,
it. You were still in the hobby.
yeah, I never stopped collecting. I was sort
You've
of
been there since Neo, pretty
pretty
much.
much, yeah,
Yeah.
from Neo non-stop.
Wow.
EX era was interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously it EX series is when Pokemon died quite a lot.
Did
That
you
was the quietest time.
did you dip out a bit, or were you still collecting them?
I was still in it. I was still
Yeah.
collecting. Like, most of my friends had moved to Yu-Gi-Oh at that point.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't play anymore because there wasn't really anybody
Did
playing.
you did you get tempted to move with them at all? Or?
I did collect some. I did play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
But it was never a,
You were still
yeah,
collecting Pokemon at the same time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Pokemon was
yeah,
always, and I was always playing the Pokemon games. My brother
yeah.
played, um, and then yeah, pretty much never all through EX to Diamond and Pearl. Hot Gold, Soul Silver, Black and White, X and Y, Sun and Moon, up
So
until
literally
sort of,
the whole 20 years you've been there through
yeah,
the whole thing.
yeah,
Have you ever
never stopped.
did you ever have any breaks? At all?
Um, I've had times where I haven't. Um, I would say for my idea of break would be like not watching videos on YouTube, maybe not
Yeah,
buying stuff online,
yeah.
but
Okay,
I'd
yeah.
always like be picking stuff up wherever I was. I'd pick
Regardless,
some.
you always there
Yeah,
was always something going on.
I haven't probably gone 6 months of my life
Yeah.
without buying something Pokemon.
Okay. That's impressive. But yeah, the things you've seen and the knowledge you've probably built up over that time is yeah. I'm sure not many other people in the same situation.
Yeah, I think a lot of people dipped out. Like
Yeah,
people had sometimes 10-year breaks. I
yeah,
think when Pokemon started dying out, when Wizard of the Coast had lost the license back in like 2003 after E series, I think a lot of people had sort of got, because I was slightly older,
yeah,
uh, slightly younger where it originally came out, rather than the people that were already like 10, 11 when base came out.
yeah. So
Um,
they left quite quickly, I guess. And
yeah,
then
yeah, and
you were
I
still growing
was,
up. You were still very young, so it
yeah,
was still like super
exactly,
fun, no
yeah.
matter what the set was, I guess.
That's the thing, and people don't realize how much the Pokemon died back in, because it could have
Yeah.
stopped. The trading card game really could have stopped
Yeah. What
those early sets
during E series or
during the
like
X
just
series.
after?
So
Oh,
like
okay.
Ruby, Sapphire, Sam, because a lot of people didn't like the fact that Wizards of the Coast had lost the license and the change
The
of
cards
format.
changed. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, if it's a big change. Like, it's not just they've
it
made
was
some new
massive.
cards. Like, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
So yeah, I guess that's not surprising. And then if other things like the kids that grew up with it stop collecting it as well, so it's kind of like a double hit,
I
isn't
think
it, for them?
it was the gap between there was no nostalgia for anybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that gap between, obviously now, people
Sorry,
collecting
mate.
again. I think people early
I've
EX or
lost you.
EXY.
Sorry, mate. Completely lost what you just said. It cut off.
That's yeah. Yeah, what I was saying was obviously a lot of people had come back to it when during 2016
Yeah,
with Evolutions.
yeah, yeah. And Pokemon was that
So
same time as Pokemon Go, wasn't it? 2016.
yes, it was.
Yeah, yeah.
It was the year that most people came back, I think.
Yeah, yeah. That was literally the reason I started looking into it and buying graded cards. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
I was one of those Pokemon Go guys. I know
Yeah.
you're into Japanese massively. So when did that start, and how did that transition? What brought you over to Japanese cards, or was that
I
there
think
from the beginning?
it wasn't there from the beginning. I think it was you didn't really see many Japanese cards
No,
back when you were a kid. I think
not
I
at all.
saw a couple, and I always wondered how people got them,
Yeah,
but I never was really too interested until probably about my teenage years. So maybe Diamond and Pearl era is when I started getting into Japanese stuff. When I started, for starters, I preferred the art. I think the idea of it, a lot of the cards that never got printed over here, I thought were
yeah,
really cool.
yeah. I mean, there's
I
plenty of
liked,
cards like that,
yeah,
isn't there?
there's so many, and there's cards over there that are like really rare promos that like the play promos over
Yeah.
there. They came out over here and they were nowhere near the value. Some of the cards are just ridiculous. So and the arts are a lot better, I think. The quality of the cards.
You mean the
Um,
price of the Japanese card was more than it was over here?
yeah, for some of the
Yeah.
like the play promos, for instance, like some of them are so expensive. I
See,
think
like
just
this
because
is where I've got no knowledge because I don't even know hardly any Japanese cards at all. So
yeah.
what are the play promos?
So it was basically back during early EX era is
Yeah,
basically there was competitions in Japan, tournaments and stuff like competitive playing over here.
kind of like
Um,
trophy cards or.
sort of. Basically, you had to play to get points, so you win tournament
Oh,
level. Yeah,
sorry. I think I
and
do know what. Yeah, you
yeah
can
you
then
build
cash
up
your
points.
points in and
Yes,
buy different. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, basically. And some of them were really hard to get.
yeah,
Like the Mew EX is very expensive. The Celebi is a really cool card as well. I've got the legendary birds and a
yeah.
couple of the
You do.
others, but they are definitely not easy cards to get.
Yeah, yeah. So
So
would you consider like for you mainly Japanese? You don't really touch English as much.
I'd probably say 75-25, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah.
this year when I started posting Pokemon stuff on Instagram,
Yeah.
and I really started getting into the community. Because before I had YouTube channels and I was part of
Yeah.
forums, but I didn't show much of my collection.
You weren't
Um,
showing it off. You weren't
no,
displaying it and stuff.
no, and
Yeah.
I wasn't really talking to many people that weren't collecting what I was. So
Yeah. Yeah.
when I came onto Instagram and people have got all this English product, and
Yeah.
I started talking to people, that's when I started buying some stuff because I thought, okay, this was cool. But generally, it's mostly Japanese, I think.
Yeah. I guess it is actually the original. Like it's easy to forget that
Yeah,
English is the foreign card,
yeah, that's
and
the thing.
it's
Started
not
with Pocket Monsters.
exactly. Um, just a quick question: would you consider yourself a collector or an investor in the hobby?
I would definitely say a collector.
Yeah.
I'd never bought anything with the sole purpose
Yeah.
of selling it.
Of like
Or
trying to make money and
yeah, I always bought something because I liked it, and
yeah.
a lot of the items I have just happened to. But then
Yeah, of course. Like, I guess right
everything
now it's
raises
not
price.
hard to. Yeah, yeah. Like, what could you have bought that didn't go up? I guess in
That's the
price.
thing. Even energy.
Um, do you know how much you've made over the years just from things going up in price, or have you not really sold anything?
Um, I used to buy and sell a lot. That was pretty much my main income during
Oh,
my
okay.
teenage years. I bought and sold a lot on eBay, mostly bundles stuff. Nothing like it started off as like low value stuff, and then I started
Yeah,
like selling base set boosters, blisters, Wistico stuff when it was relatively cheap still.
yeah.
Um,
What, just sort of like buying it and keeping it like a year or so, or?
yeah, pretty much. I'd buy it. Well, I'd buy a lot of stuff from America, and then
Oh, okay.
back when like import fees and stuff was like
Yeah.
non-existent. So I would just buy loads. I bought a lot from Collector's Cash.
Yeah.
Um, I used to actually primetime Pokemon on YouTube. I bought quite a lot of things because I didn't have a credit card at the time, and you
Yeah.
couldn't buy stuff from America in Europe. So I would.
So how long ago are we talking?
10 years,
Oh,
12 years
okay.
maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely was early Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah.
So I remember buying a whole case of the Diamond and Pearl tins when they first came out from Game
From
Station.
America.
No, from Game Station.
You
I literally
literally went
in.
there and bought.
Yeah, I literally went in and bought a case there. Obviously, I opened them all, but it was money I was
Yeah.
making buying and selling.
Yeah. So, I mean, when it's like that, you just don't care, do you? You're like,
No.
oh, wow, this is free, basically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. I couldn't
how
estimate how much money I've made probably from
how
Pokemon.
how difficult was it back then? Because I feel like these days, like anyone can just like, especially with the year as it's been, anyone could have just bought anything and then made a profit.
I
Like how
would.
how
I
hard was it back then?
I found it easier to sell back then because not many people was doing it.
Okay.
I mean, for
yeah,
instance,
I guess if
yeah,
no, yeah,
if
yeah,
you look on eBay now and look at like Pokemon bundles, there's thousands of them. But
yeah,
when I started doing it, not many people were doing it. So I'd
yeah,
put
that
them
makes
up
sense. Yeah,
on starting price, and I could sell £25 some of them, and I'd list like
oh,
10
nice.
a week, and they would just sell all the time.
Just yeah. So you were probably one of the main people doing it in the UK, or
Yeah,
only person
it
in
was
the
it
UK.
was very easy. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
the amount of money that you could make was lower, but it was a lot
yeah,
easier.
but yeah, to actually make the sale for what you were selling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, used to sell a lot faster than attempts I've made, like recently to try sell things. It's sort of like a lot
very
harder.
different now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Obviously, I know you collect very obviously like Japanese and very niche products in particular that like hardly anyone has or knows about. What is it that you love about those very rare products? Is it just because you know that they're so niche that like you're likely to have the only set of something, or the numbers will be very low? What is it that attracts you to that?
That's an interesting question. I think I never set out over the years to do it. It was more of a, I like the look of this. And a lot of people, I think for a while, a lot of people would always say, oh, they'll question why you buy things. And even now, you
Yeah.
can you can look on eBay and you can find some different stuff, but most people are buying similar things. And I think I always didn't mind parting cash with items that I thought were quite cool, regardless of what their meaning was, or what their value was.
It's just what you were naturally drawn to
Yeah,
and liked. Like
yeah.
there's no oh, I like it because it's so rare. It's just like I
The
like this.
the
I
only
want this.
thing I ever bought specifically was because they were so rare were the bird tins, and that was
Yeah,
that was
okay.
sort of a mission that I'd set out. That
That
I
was a
wanted.
goal, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my only goal really in Pokemon. If I ever had one, I didn't really set.
When did you get them?
I got them this year,
And
so
how long had you wanted them for?
about 7
Was
years.
that oh, wow.
To find them was incredibly.
Was that the hard part? Was the hard part just
Yeah.
them
Well,
being available for
the
sale?
hardest thing is finding them because they'd never come up on public auctions for the whole
Yeah,
time I was looking. So 7 years they never came up on eBay. Um,
that's nuts. That's
so
crazy.
I even questioned their existence
Yeah, I
because it
bet.
was like I knew that I had the
Did I
promo.
just dream
Yeah,
this up?
I had the promos and I was searching for these tins for ages, and then and it was literally right under my nose the whole time because my friend had them, but he didn't know
Oh
he
no,
had them. So I'd been searching for ages, and that's when
for years
I'd come up onto Instagram
to
back
try
in
and find
March
them.
to try find them, and I saw a few people that had them, but
Yeah,
they had a couple, and some of them were damaged,
yeah.
um, and then yeah, my I found out my friend was getting wanted to get married before the whole COVID thing, and
Just needed to sell up.
yeah, and he was
How
like
did you? Well, with something that's so obviously like rare, how did you know what to price it?
that
Like,
that
I would
yeah
literally, like, I'd be like, I don't. Would you want? I don't know how
that
much
was the
to.
hardest thing because buying off a friend, you don't want to rip them
Oh,
off. You want to
yeah,
give them a fair
yeah.
price, but also
But then, how do you know what the
value in an
fair price
item.
is?
Yeah, basically, because I bought his whole collection, so
Yeah.
um,
Oh, you bought out some other stuff as
yeah, I
well.
bought everything he had.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Just had to make up a figure, I guess.
how do I know? And he was like, look, this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Okay.
cool, we agreed on a price.
That
Yeah,
I guess that helps then. Yeah.
yeah.
If he tells you.
So
Um. Well, yeah. Good job you done that because.
I would never have found him otherwise.
Yeah.
It would have never have come up again.
Do you think you'll keep them forever if you can?
I think so. Yeah, I think I've had
Yeah.
when I first posted them up on Instagram. I didn't post them for like 2 months, 3 months after owning them, and
Yeah.
I only told one person that I owned them. I was quite secretive at the time because
Yeah.
I wasn't really in the community, so I was sort of just and
You weren't bothered about
yeah,
showing them,
and then
yeah.
it was like, oh, I'll just post them because the idea of posting something that people might not have seen before. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I might find some more information on it because there's very little information online.
Yeah.
And I posted
Well,
them.
sorry. When were these out? When did they come out?
They came out in 2004. So
Okay.
there's two print runs for them. There's a European print and an American print.
Oh wow.
And the European print actually came out before the American print, which is like a first in Pokemon. It never comes out in Europe
Yeah.
before.
That's,
So the
that's
packs
weird.
are different, and there is the distinctive difference is a yellow versus a white sticker.
So
Yeah,
yours are European, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. Mine are the rarer ones, the
You,
European ones, and then there's the
do you want
American.
to go after the American one?
I know people with them, and they're not selling for any amount of money. So
So yeah, no chance.
no, I got a lot of messages. I think I woke up to about 80 DMs, and I think
Oh
the
really?
post got like two and a
Wow.
half thousand likes within like a couple of days.
People just going nuts saying like, "What is this?
I was like,
are you
this
selling
is
them or?"
yeah. I was trying to like message back everybody. I was like, oh, I'm really sorry, they're not for sale. I just wanted to post them to get some info.
Wow. Oh, that's
But yeah,
crazy.
it is mad.
What a goal, and you've achieved it. So well done.
That's the thing. Yeah.
um, I know obviously that you stopped collecting. Do you want to share why that is? What's
Um,
going on?
well, I think I think I'd probably extended my collecting. Once I'd got the tins, I probably should have stopped then, because
Yeah.
that was the goal.
That yeah, I guess that yeah. That
I'd
was the
already
goal.
said once I've got these tins, I'm sort of done. But I continued. Instagram is probably the reason why, and I kept buying more stuff. A lot of items that I probably would never normally buy. Friends are buying things, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll get that. A lot of modern stuff.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
why was it that it was like? Why did you change the things that you weren't buying? Was it just because of Instagram and you were seeing it a lot more, and you were like, "Oh no, that actually looks quite cool."
Yeah, I think so. I think I was seeing these, and I thought, oh, okay, these items are pretty cool, but I was seeing
Yeah.
prices rise on a lot of things. It's all part of sort of the fear of missing out.
Yeah, definitely. I think
And I
with Instagram, it's you get exposed to things just like the people who saw your tins and then messaged you. you also
Yeah,
see things and you're like, wow, what's that? That looks cool.
yeah, yeah.
And it's so
And
addictive.
it is very addictive. And I sort of, as I was seeing, I was buying things that I wasn't interested in. I was buying a lot of English modern products, and I was
Yeah.
thinking to myself, well, this isn't, I've never done this. And then ultimately, I decided, what, I shouldn't be doing this anymore.
Yeah, this isn't, I'm not doing
No,
it for the right reasons or what you used, the reasons you
exactly,
used
yeah.
to. So,
So that's why I stopped, basically.
so that's it. For now, you don't have
Yeah, for
anything
now,
on order.
I don't, I cancelled all my pre-orders because I had like a lot of pre-orders for new products coming out this year.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I cancelled them all. And I said to myself, I might return in the future, but for now,
Just take a
just
break, maybe.
yeah, it gets consuming. That Instagram and social media, it is all part of it as well.
You can spend so much time.
You can,
So
yeah.
much time.
And just I didn't have the time, so
Yeah, no, it makes complete sense. You can just with like you said, social media, just with Instagram and YouTube and all the other outlets, you can spend your whole day and you haven't done anything.
Yeah, it leads to a lot of people. I think it leads to new trends in Pokemon that necessarily maybe are not there, that shouldn't be there, but because a lot of people are exposed to these items,
You mean because of the kind of influence you get from seeing
Yeah.
things you wouldn't normally see,
Yeah,
and then you kind of, like you said, fear of missing out. You end up getting involved on it.
yeah. Sets like Hidden Fates is a perfect example of it.
Yeah,
People went crazy for a set, that didn't happen before, and I've seen it happen in Japanese products recently as well, which is quite surprising because
do you think that's mostly because of social media, because
Yeah.
of how?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's some organic interest in there. I mean, boxes of
But
legendary
it
heart.
snowballs
Yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does snowball.
Everyone wants to have the trending
Yeah,
set to post, I guess, even just to post it.
that's the thing. Hidden Fates was the catalyst for that, I think.
Yeah.
And
No, I definitely
yeah.
agree.
And Legendary Heartbeat was the Japanese set for that, I
Yeah.
think, as well.
New rarity, everyone wants to be the first one to get it, first one to
Yeah.
open it, first one to post a picture of the card.
Exactly.
No, yeah, it is crazy how it's changed, and I wonder what it would be like if social media wasn't quite like it is now. If it took longer to come out or something, if how different the growth would be if that wasn't a part of it.
It's interesting, but we won't ever know. So
No, we won't. So I'm gonna ask you a couple of last questions, more like quick fire questions. So, what's your all-time favorite set? It could be Japanese, it could be English, anything. Just
I
a
would
set.
say
You had to pick.
it's English and Japanese, both the same set. So Legend Maker, which is an EX set, and the Japanese version, which is Mirage Forest, is definitely my favorite set.
I have no idea what those sets are. When did they come out?
Legend Maker came out in 2006. It was
Again around the same time
Yeah.
as your tins, I guess.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
and an interesting point quickly about the Legend Maker was that was due to be released before Delta Species.
Yeah.
Obviously the Delta Species sets, but because of translation issues, they released it after Delta Species, and there was nothing playable in the set, so everybody hated it.
Because it was released sort of in the wrong
Yeah.
order.
The gold stars as well, people didn't like the Reggies,
Oh.
and it's the only good EX people said was the Mew EX.
Yeah.
But apart from that, most people didn't like the set up until more recently.
So it's picking up a bit now.
It is, yeah.
Do you have many of those cards?
I have a near complete Japanese set. I just need the
Oh,
Reggies. English, I am nowhere near getting a set for that.
You got a few though. Or...
Yeah, I've got a couple of
Yeah.
cards, but the Japanese set for me was the set that I preferred, so I tried going after that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's your preference, isn't it? So
Yeah.
you got to collect what you want and what you love. What would Pokemon have to do to get you back into the hobby?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I think I know I definitely will come back just because it's Pokemon and I don't think I'm strong
It's
enough to.
been 20 years,
Yeah,
so why?
yeah. Why would
Yeah,
I be able to stop now? I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with the anniversary next year.
yeah.
But
So maybe if they do something really
if they do,
fun
yeah, if
for
they do
that.
something fun, I think they need to slow down with the Charizard in every single set. I
Yeah,
think the idea of the hype sets as well is the hype of it. I think is a lot to do with why I don't know when I'll come back.
yeah. No, I
People
know
are
what you
hyping
mean.
up the anniversary already,
Yeah,
and it's a year away.
and no one knows what's happening with it. So
No, I hope they do something spontaneous and different. I really
yeah,
do.
yeah. So it could be that if it's something different,
It could
something
be, yeah,
unique, maybe that'll bring you back in.
yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. All-time favorite card if you had to pick one.
Oh, that is another good one. All-time favorite card. I would have to say the probably Pikachu Gold Star.
Nice. Have you got that card?
I don't know.
Oh
I had
no.
it. I had it.
Oh,
I
when
had
did
it,
you
and
sell it?
I sold all my Gold Stars. Yeah. At
Oh
the
no.
time, I needed the money. I sold a lot of my.
Yeah, no.
Uh,
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm sure you got enough for that card, right?
yeah, yeah,
Right, so thanks for coming on, for having a chat. I'm sure everyone will appreciate hearing different side of things that's normally on the channel, because obviously I don't talk much Japanese or anything after WotC up until current
yeah.
modern sets, because I wasn't even in the hobby. Yeah, so really appreciate it, mate. Thanks for coming on, and
No worries.
I'll speak to you soon.
Speak to you later.
See ya. Right, I've stopped record. Hold on, let me just